All right, here we are. Says we are live.
All right.
All right. Welcome to Modulator Bay. This is Mr. Basic. No jingle this time. That'll be for next time. Wasn't quite ready for it yet. But yeah, we're going to have a good show of talking at the very least. And I don't think I'll put a time end cap on this. So we're just gonna keep on going. And anyone in the chat wants to say anything, anyone wants to comment afterwards about stuff, we welcome you to do so. And I have on the show today, once again, in our episode 2, AudiosErgeon, which I'm so sorry. I botched your name so bad the last time.
It's
Jellyfish
okay.
100, nice to see you here already. Yeah, so AudiosErgeon. I know you much better now than I did the first time we talked.
Yes, that's true.
And I've listened to, that is, some of your podcasts.
Oh, really?
Life in
Yeah.
Space. Not too many yet because my life has just been crazy. I haven't hardly had time to do any like music or anything like that. But as usual. But I try to as much as possible.
That's true. Yeah, I've been really busy too, mostly on the road and working and everything. So it's been kind of hard to find time to do all this stuff. But now it's awesome, man. I mean, we got the show going and everything sounds good. So I'm really excited.
Cool. Yeah, this is a very interesting time. Last time we did it was before all of this weird virus stuff happened, and we were already kind of into the whole streaming revolution that has been going on a bit, just based on general technology advances and our abilities to do new things, especially as musicians and creatives and whatnot, right?
Yeah, that's totally true. When this all started going down, everybody was starting to do a lot of streaming stuff online, and the one thing that's kind of hard to get your mind wrapped around is figuring out how to get the software and everything, all your recording stuff working with it, because they kind of limit you on some of those things. But I figured out a way to get my sound in here, and I got my soundboard all set up, and so it works a lot better now. Plus, the first time I think I was just using my computer. I was actually just plugged right in my computer, and I was using my microphone through it. But this time, I think that as technology gets better and everything, it'll be really cool to see these shows progress and get better.
Yeah, that's what I noticed right away, that your audio was great, at least as good as mine, if not better. Yeah, so I definitely noticed that. That's cool. Inverted Popes, nice to see you made it. Cool. Yeah. So how have you been doing? How's this present moment in time been treating you?
To be honest, as of now, life has just kind of been the same for me. I mean, we usually, my wife and I are usually always on the road, and we're working on the road. So we kind of been really busy during this time. So coming home and just kind of unwinding and stuff, when I get to come home, it's really nice. I just get to do the things I want to do. It's just kind of been the same, I guess. But I know that a lot of things out there, there's a lot of stuff going on. So a lot of people probably not getting to work and things like that. They're staying home, or they're quarantined and everything. So I definitely know that for some people, life is definitely different. And there was a point when there was a lot of less people on the road, but now recently there's been a lot of more people doing things outside, and going back out into the world, I guess, again. And so I do notice things are kind of coming back to the way that they were. But I think that for a lot of people, they're still doing things from home. And I think that'll be a really cool thing too, with technology getting better, is that I think that more people will be able to work from home and do things over the internet as it gets better. So that'll be interesting to see how that works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So you've been on the road. You mentioned to me earlier that you came through Washington, and we kind of just like commented a little bit about that. I don't really know anything about that. So how did you like it? What was your experience? Or do you often do that, or just go on by through Washington like that?
Yeah, every once in a while we do pass through Washington. We usually go through, I think it's Tacoma, Washington, and we go north from there sometimes, and then we'll come back down south, down towards Portland. We were there, I think, a few weeks ago, and I believe. Well, it was like the beginning of spring or something like that. Maybe it was last month. But the trees were very green. Everything was really nice, and there was a lot of like these little things that fall from the sky. They're like those little seeds or something with the little fuzz on them. There was a lot of them flying around and everything.
Yeah.
So it was really pretty. Honestly, Washington and Portland, those are some of my favorite places to go to. So I really enjoy going up there. You got a really nice state up there. I like it.
Yeah, I find it hard to leave. Mainly just the big, tall evergreens. I feel kind of like a blanket, you know. And then when I'm in a desert or something, I feel like I'm like well, you know. Other people feel differently that way, but I don't know. But I also feel very fortunate to be close to cool places like Portland, and Olympia has kind of been my hometown since college and whatnot, at least.
That's nice. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice up there, and the weather's awesome too. It's great.
I don't remember actually at this point where you're from or where you're at right now.
Arizona. Where I'm from Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so okay, so that it ends up being like you said, okay, the time zone changes. So we're at the same time zone right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think during the summertime it's the same time zone, and then in the wintertime though, I believe that do you guys do you do the daylight savings time in
Yeah,
Washington?
yeah, we always have. Yeah, unless it just changed this year or last year or something. Yeah, we always do. Yeah.
And I believe we're off by an hour when it's what's in the wintertime. So, but yeah,
Okay. But I
but
think, all states obviously are probably eventually going to go to not doing it since it's an archaic thing and stuff. But yeah.
yeah, that's what I've heard of. I've actually heard that a few states already stopped doing it. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. I'm glad I got a phone that changes the time automatically, because if I'm somewhere and I don't know what the time is, I just check this thing. You know, keeping track of all that, that's got to be kind of weird and kind of like, oh, well, I'm off by an hour, off by a couple. It can get confusing, I think.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Cool. Glory to glory to glory. Nice to see you here. Yeah. Awesome live show. Yeah. Cool. And Bully Got Music is here. I've seen you here. I've seen you on my streams before. Cool. Yeah. You made it in time this time. Indeed. We have a lot of stuff that we could just talk about all day long.
Oh, yes.
Probably.
Yes.
But yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to start out with anything like anything that new that might
Yeah, I mean, not too many things are I guess new since last time. I got a new controller for FL Studios. It's called the Akai Fire. So that'll be kind of cool to mess around with. As for that, I just kind of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I had no idea. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of a nice little controller. It's cool. You can start and stop and push some buttons and stuff. And I like buttons. What can I say? It's always fun to get more of those.
You don't even know, because like I started out when it comes to computer, I started out in Ableton Live, just thinking, oh well, I need this control, I need sequencer control and all that stuff. So it's like I got the Launch Control XL and the Launchpad, right? Not the Launchpad, not to do cool Launchpad videos or anything, but I'm like, I'm not that guy, so I'm not going to get a Launchpad. But I did, because I realized that there's a practical use for it,
Sure.
But so I tried to, and then I realized, and I had arguments with the music guy while I knew nothing about anything yet, about like, why can't I sequence on this in Ableton Live? He's like Ableton Live is a big sequencer. That's what it is. I'm like, but I don't know. I want to sequence. And he's like, but eventually I learned how to use a different script on the Launchpad, but it's all that workaround and stuff. I kind of wish that thing, the Akai Fire controller, would have been out 3 years ago, and then I would have done FL Studio, and I probably would have still been on it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I just messed around with it for a few minutes already, but it's kind of nice. Yeah, like you said, it's got a sequencer. It just kind of has, what do you call it? 1, 2, 3, 4, four patterns, and then it's got 4 different sequences, up to 16 bars, and it's kind of cool. I was actually looking into, when I first started doing a lot of this stuff, I was gonna get a Launchpad or a Push. I wanted to get into Ableton and stuff, and then I guess I kind of didn't really know it that well. So just recently I went back to FL Studios, and I've been really enjoying it a lot. For the money, I think FL Studios is a really good platform. It makes a lot of sense to me, I guess, since I used it in the past as well. I used to use it way back in the early days, but yeah,
Loops.
it's really nice though. I like it. And let me see. I also use my machine. That's also pretty good too. But it's kind of difficult to work with machine and FL Studios at the same time. I guess certain DAWs just don't click. I guess unless you wanted to use it as a controller in FL Studios. But there's a lot of workaround, like you're talking about, like assigning every different button. But then you have to go in and create like a Marco or whatever you call, or like a different instance for each key. It's just a headache. So I use them separately, I guess.
Yeah, that is a really good point, because that comes up all the time in my researching everything and trying everything. It's just that like Machina works best by itself as a whole unit by itself. And, some DAWs are like that too, whereas they have the best things right in there. You use other things, it becomes more complicated. Use it together. A lot of people do and have no problem with that. But like you said, Machina, I think other people have said that about that environment. And I think a lot of things are kind of made to be that way. To be best when used all inclusively. And I've tried to kind of go with that philosophy myself too, to try to not complicate things too much.
The only thing I wish I could do, which I haven't figured it out though, is how to send a clock from my FL Studios to Machine. That's all I want to do, because I actually took the audio from the Machina. It's got its own built-in sound card in there, and then I wanted to just have audio go through the machine directly to my mixer, and then if I could send a clock out, then I could just use this thing as like a drum machine in a sense, which is what I originally wanted to do. But I'm not quite sure, because every time I try to sync it or try to MIDI sequence it, it won't actually work, like as if I'm sending it to like my sub 37. If I send information to my sub 37, it works fine. But for some reason this machine, it's like I said, it's good on its own though. But yeah, it's
yeah, you always run into things, you never know.
Yep.
I've been kind of lucky with this weird thing for an interface, the RC505. It's like, not only is it a multi-effects pedal that I'm just using as an interface, never mind the looper stuff, but it also yeah, it's like I don't know, it's just weird. I forgot what I was going to say about it, but related to what you just said.
Yeah,
But
I was actually looking around at the RC 505, right? RC 505. I was actually looking at those way before I actually got a lot of these MIDI controllers and stuff, and that thing was kind of cool. I was like, it might be kind of cool just to just a live loop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. I was thinking, any interface that you have that has MIDI on it, it just happens to do MIDI sync as well, like to even big DIN sync MIDI, at your gear. So it literally latency free does the MIDI just fine to your gear. But I don't know if it'd be latency free for everybody's computer, but it is for mine.
Yeah. No, for mine as well. The MIDI, I always find it's always doing the job the best. And then when you finally get everything you want, you just record it down into your DAW, and then that kind of works out, I guess. Like that's how I kind of do it. But with the FL Studios, it's kind of nice to be able to work something in there, and then when I do get all my MIDI sequences in there and I get my playlist ready, I can actually structure more like song-like things. Before I kind of had just like just patterns, and I would just kind of mix them together and make them kind of like play with each other. But it's kind of cool also to have that studio environment as well. I know that I said in the past, like I tried not to get too much into like, piano roll and all that stuff like that. But I do like to work together with the synths and the studio. I guess I get kind of like a good combination of, best of both worlds in a sense, I guess.
Yeah. It's cool when you can do that. When your brain can switch back and forth and stuff like that.
And I'll tell you, it took a long time to figure out how to do it too. I mean, to be honest, like it's just so much thinking. Like, okay, if I do this way, and I can do it on my FL Studios, and I can also do some live stuff, and I record it. But to get everything to go all the way you want it, it takes a while to get it down. Even just recording with the soundboard and stuff like that, it's mind blowing how many things you can do with it. But at the same time, you get lost.
Yeah, totally. So I'm on my way to go completely DAW-less and do it with the help of Tascam. But I mean, not all the time, but pretty much to not ever need a computer. I can always go to another part of the house and then do the computer stuff later, and always do it separately, and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, and have different studios even that way. Um, uh, but but yeah, for me, I've been thinking a lot about signal processing and all that stuff, and sends and returns and stuff like that. Um, Not only line level for like a mixer, because I don't have a mixer yet, but also for I don't have all my sequencing for all the voices that I have yet. So what I basically did is I got really excited about synths for the last 3 years, and I have acquired the synths and not the sequencing and not the mixer yet to put it all together. So I can do small projects still, you know, that and whatnot. And I love my computer for everything it does at the moment. But like once I get that Tascam mixer, I'm thinking that you know that can bring me there. Do you think that that's like a viable thing?
I believe which one you're looking at, the 16?
The 12, actually.
Oh, the 12, the 12. Yeah, that's the newest one I believe they made, right? The 12. Yeah, I believe it has SD card recording as well.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Yeah, I believe it does. And that's actually pretty handy. When I first actually checked that out, it's real simple and it sounds amazing, to be honest with you. It records really good quality sound. It's real easy to go back and forth between your tracks. Not only that, you can arm and disarm whichever channel you want. So for instance, like on my board right here, let me see if I can name this down. If I can, might not be close enough. The point is, they each have a recording, little record button above each track. And so you can arm and disarm whichever track that you want to record on, and they start to flash red. And then with your control panel up here, you can hit stop, play, record, all that stuff, and then it records directly on an SD card. And I think you can put up to like almost like a 512 or something in this thing. So it'll hold a lot of audio. So it's nice. To be honest with you, the 12, I think I saw that the inputs are actually on the back of it. So
Yeah,
it's really compact.
That's what I like the most about it.
It's really great. Yeah, especially for like, if you wanted to just have like a little studio, like Porta Studio, I think it would be great to have.
You could even shove it underneath and bring it out. You know what I mean? And you couldn't do that with all of them on the top unless you had right angle.
Yes, that's true. Did you say it's rack mountable too?
The 16 is that width.
Oh, the 16. Okay. 16. Okay.
So that was like tempting. It's like you could do that. But then really, I thought so much about it. I don't know if you have any thoughts about this, but it seems like everybody always chooses still to have their mixer at sort of a desktop at maybe an angle rather than have it straight up and down like that. And maybe there's something to that.
I don't know if I've ever done that before. Oh, I've never had a mixer that's just straight up and down. These are actually they're built on an angle, so you kind of still get like a little bit of preparation. Like it's kind of I don't know what the word is for it, but it kind of sits at an angle, so that way you're not looking at it flat. Like I don't have to stand over like this or anything. I can see everything just sitting at the table level or whatever. So it's this one
at more of an angle.
Yeah, you can make it even more like if you want to actually like conserve space. If you have a desk that you can put up, maybe I don't know, maybe up against the wall or something like that, and then you can kind of maybe put a keyboard down here if you have enough room. But this thing takes up a lot of my desk. I'll be honest with you. This 24 is huge. And
I would love to have that many, but I think I just have to limit myself.
Like this one's my old mixer right here. This thing is tiny compared to the 24. I'll be honest. It's like twice this size. Yeah, the Lasis is. Let me see if I can move this. I'll get a better angle. Here we go.
That's cool. I have an Lasis.
It is gigantic though. So like, man, I can't really study this very well. It is a huge board. And what I was saying, there's little recording knobs. If I can get right there, I'll just push once you can see. So you can arm them, right? So you want to record those 3 tracks, and then you would just, up here, there's a little control panel, and you just hit record up here, and then there's a little screen. You can see everything on there. But yeah, so if you wanted to use it as just an SD recording device, it works very well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. It just, it just is that versatile thing that does everything that you wanted. Well, that I wanted a mixer to do before I realized what a mixer actually was.
and of course it works fantastic too with the USB if you want to just use in a DAW. So for instance, you just want to use these as individual channels in your DAW. It's fantastic too. So I guess you get the best of all of the different types of ways you can do it. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I would totally, if I had my computer somewhere else or whatever, I would totally take the Tascam and then bring it over and have that be. No, actually I wouldn't, because I have the Launch Control XL is really nice for the DAW control. I've already got my DAW controller, which is nice. I like it. At first I thought, well, there could be a nicer looking thing, but I was like, nah, that's nice.
Yeah,
I like Novation stuff.
Yeah, Novation makes really good stuff. I like it. I just I never owned anything from them, but that was the first thing I wanted to get was a Launchpad. But I just for some reason I never got down that road to getting one. But their products look really good, top quality too.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the snowy things that are floating around in Washington State as you went by in certain places. The dog and cottonwood trees are blooming right now, and it's for anyone with allergies, it's horrible just to go outside, and it's like snow. Some places that you could just see it. It's like, whoa! It's like you see it circling around, like it's like, oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, I kind of figured that it's like it's got to be some sort from the trees, I guess. But yeah, there was a lot of it coming down.
Yeah, so if I cough, it's not COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to apologize to people at the grocery store. It's allergies, everybody.
Yeah,
back on. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, not to mention, I think I had a lot of allergies this past month too. But yeah, that's crazy.
Oh man. So should we talk about the subharmonicon?
I was actually about to mention that. I was looking at. I have a little book up here, and I was thinking, what should we talk about here? And I remember you were talking about you got a subharmonicon, and I don't really know much about it yet.
Yeah. So okay. So I did a couple videos a couple years ago, talking to Moog about yelling at Moog to release the subharmonicon to everybody because we all need it, and people just don't even know it yet. They weren't excited about it because everyone's like, "What is that thing? It's kind of weird. It's kind of a niche thing. Oh, that's cool." And even now, people say about it, "Oh, it's one trick pony," that sort of thing. And it is kind of weird that like musicians and people that aren't into synthesizers are almost like introduced to it right now because it looks so nice and cool in this form. Like that more people are into it, but maybe that'll pass. I don't know.
It does look really cool. I'll be honest with you. The design and everything. I think I seen the original design when they were doing like a workshop or something like that. It looks a little strange, but this one it looks really nice.
But I think now people, since YouTubers at least, or other people that have had the opportunity to explain it to everybody, have done a good job of doing that, and they've put out all these videos, then maybe people do understand it a little bit more and see that, oh, actually, you can see it in a sort of way that it's pretty simple, even though it might not be what you want. But if if maybe you like the sounds from it, then you can understand like that there's always going to be a way for you to be able to do that. It's not so confusing,
Sure.
It just makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. So do you the only times I've seen it online, I was watching someone play around with it. So is there like a sequence of patterns in there, and is it like a it's like a
there is no set, there is no set sequence of patterns, like set one.
Okay.
But with the 4 knobs combined, you do set one. at least now the subharmonicon is not the only thing that does this. There's like a melody something that just came out. You can see it on modulargrid.com when you see all the newest modules. That somebody came out with a little module that's just 4 lanes that is this rhythm sequencer, the same thing that's on the DFAM, which is a clock divider. And so 4 clock dividers, but what they do is they play off of each other. So you'll never get the same thing unless you set all 4 of these to whichever exact thing that you did before.
Okay.
So all 4 of them combined will make a preset, but there is no, but you have to come up with it. And also it comes with the paper overlays like the DFAM did for some presets that you can see that they've done for you, and which I haven't done yet. I haven't been able to play with it that much yet.
Yeah.
But I still unfortunately I haven't played with it much, but I do understand it through and through because I was so obsessed with it even years ago, and I felt like I understood it already. But like so there's also blank ones in the back of the book. Then you can make your own. So I need to Xerox those so that if I ever run out, then I can keep making more. And I plan to have this thing be my chord generation workflow for basically the composition start of most of my music, of my more serious music will start here. Because I've always thought about, I'm not a 10-finger piano player, although I've played mallets, but so I want to come up with chords a certain way. I kind of like how I've done it in modular and soft modular and on the computer. And in a similar way, I can do that here. I can come up with what the chords will be for the song. And then maybe I'll do the chords with something else, but this is how I'd like to come up with chords. I don't know if anyone else said that about it. For me, that's the main thing. And then the rhythm stuff is cool too. And that just creates cool stuff for you, kind of like a touring machine. It's generative stuff. I like it.
Cool. So you can get a lot of cool ideas from it then, I'm sure.
Yeah. I just like that it's a 6 oscillator synth.
Okay, so it's basically you're playing, like you said, it plays chords in, right?
Yeah, you can play 6 tones at the same time, and it has 6 outs for each one of them if you want to do that instead of just 1 out.
Okay, and I believe they were showing something. If it's got a MIDI plug on there too as well, right? Can you actually play 6 notes?
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, you can play 1 note.
Oh, okay.
And
play 1.
Yeah. Well, does it have an in for the different? But maybe 2, because it has 2 different ins for the CV for the VCOs, for each of the VCOs, and the 2 sub oscillators are tied to each of the VCOs. So yeah, so probably paraphonic 2.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of like the sub 37. It's a duophonic, so you can play 2 keys up. I mean, at once if you want. Okay, I get it then. Okay, yeah. No, that's interesting. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Actually, I did watch the Loop Op video, but I forgot exactly. So maybe refer to his video on whether you can do that or not. I kind of forgot because I'm not so concerned with that yet.
I think you are correct, because now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's what they said, that you can play 2 keys. It's like duo, but like I said, each one of those oscillators, you have to tune those, and then you basically you're playing, how do you say, 2 keys, but then those are attached. It's 6, right? 6 voices.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3 on each one, right?
Okay, yeah, I would say not a weird synth at all, except for the fact that it goes backwards. It does everything backwards. It does everything down from the root note. You find chords down from the root note.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Like the root note is your top note. And divisions make you go lower notes. That's all there is to it, but that's weird.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
It makes for nice, weird sounds. and progressions maybe.
Yeah, and that's definitely cool, especially when you're looking for like something like, some sort of idea or whatever. The thing I like to do is I try to find ideas and things like that so I can progress I work on a lot on my melody right now, because that's the one thing I find that's the most difficult to do, I guess, for me is finding melody and then creating a good melody or like a catchy melody or something like that. Because I mean, making like a drum loop or something like that, I can just throw that together, no problem. But
Yeah.
melody is always, you need some sort of inspiration for that. So I imagine that's really good for trying to learn like a melody, or not really learning, but just trying to get ideas for it. So that's a really neat idea.
Yeah, but I pretty much with this thing, you really do have to start with everything, at its starting point,
Mm-hmm.
with the sequencer, in terms of no divisions on the rhythm sequencer, and really get that, and then just small changes are gonna create big changes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So so you won't even be doing much. It'll just be subtle things after you find your notes.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool about it, and it really sounds good too. Just this section here, just the filter and the filter envelope and the amp and amp envelope, and how it can basically, if the decay is not done yet from a note, uh, then it goes back to the attack. It won't attack. The attack won't trigger again. And the note will just keep on going on and fade out, and then the attack will trigger again after the decay is, only if the decay is short enough to be within that step. If the decay is longer than that step, then the whole envelope is 2 steps now.
Okay.
And so the first video I did, which is just the one before this one, um, it was doing that, and I didn't even know how to make it not do that at first. But everybody who's done explaining on the subharmonicon has tried to explain it in a kind of a complicated way, but that's kind of really all it is just that if the decay is long enough, then it won't re-trigger, and it'll go or really slow and only trigger every third note,
Oh,
or
okay.
only trigger every fifth note if it's too long, which makes it sound cool.
Sure.
Happy mistake.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the one thing that's great about these instruments is that you definitely want to find those interesting things that it's like you said, like a happy accident or like, an interesting mistake, which turns into something really cool. So that's really neat, man.
Yeah. So it's very exciting. I thank Moog. Thank you, Moog. Thank you, Moog. Thank you, Moog. I'll do a thank you, Moog video and another one because they listened to me, and that's why they put it out. Just joking. No, but either that or they were smart enough to keep it under wraps well enough, like a good synth company should and
Oh
needs.
yeah.
but they did it with the Mother 32 and the DFAM. So I was always hoping I don't care whether they put out the vocoder or not. I don't know about you.
Yeah, that thing was really pricey. That big vocoder.
Yeah.
That thing, I don't know. I mean, just to have a different sounding kind of voice in the synth, it's a
Well, what if they
lot.
put it out as just to everyone, like mass produce it and for cheaper?
Or like a small version, like a rack mount version. Like like a Euro rack. I'm sorry. That'd be kind of cool. Then that might be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's like what, like $8,000, I think.
Wait. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Oh wait, not that vocoder.
Oh, not that one.
Okay. At the last Moog Fest, just like this, they did with the Mother 32 and the DFAM, or which was the brother from another mother at the time, when it was the silver-faced one, and then they did a silver-faced subharmonicon.
Yeah,
that looked different, but then they did a silver-faced vocoder in this format exactly.
Really? Okay, that's cool.
Last year. And yeah, and I know what you're talking about, the big classic Moog vocoder. They put that back out, and it was like $8,000 or something. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm not rich, but maybe I want to get rich to get one.
Yeah, exactly. So they did put out a smaller one than you're saying.
Yeah, and it's very basic.
Oh, okay.
like the old one, but I think it's different. It's got all these faders on the bottom, along the bottom, and then knobs at the top, along the top, like that. So
Okay.
it's got like 10 faders. It's like a 10 band vocoder.
That's interesting. I'll have to take a look. I must have missed that then. To be honest with you, this past year, I've been kind of missing out on like certain things online about new product and new gear. I just haven't really been paying attention, I guess.
Oh no,
But
yeah, that's okay. But that's just that was made at ModeFest, and that's the thing is like it doesn't really get publicized much because they don't know whether they'll or they won't say or we don't know whether they'll ever put that out to the public. So why tell everybody and make it a big hype about it?
yeah, because they have that ModeFest thing, and then sometimes the products that they display, and then some guy goes out and talks about it, huh?
They really don't know at that point whether they want to
Yeah,
put it out or not.
that's true. That's true. Because
That test the people out whether whether they're into it. And I thought maybe people weren't into the subharmonicon when it first came out, and I was really worried about that it would just never come out.
Yeah. You can never tell. I guess since their production, they do everything by hand, so they might not really know if people want to buy into that. And then if they have a bunch of them on hand, they can't sell them or something like that.
I
But
personally don't plan to get any more, but I don't plan to get anything more at all when it comes to studio, except for the ends of it, which I've been dragging my heels on this whole time, the sequencing and the mixer.
Yeah, same thing with my setup. I think I'm pretty much where I want to be. The only thing that I've been thinking about, maybe like sometime towards the end of the year or something like that, I do want to get like maybe like a nice microphone. I have this one right here. It's a it's a a Shure SM57. It works really good, but it'd be kind of nice to have something like maybe like an SM7B or something like that. Because I've been doing like these podcasts lately. In fact, the first time we talked, I remember it was like towards the beginning of the year. That was like the first time I really did any talking and stuff. So you actually inspired me to do like this podcast. So I started doing this podcast, and I'm starting to kind of work on my vocals and start to talk and trying to form like actual ideas and stuff into like something interesting. So it'd be kind of cool to get a new microphone or something.
I think you sound great on them. I've watched a few. I mean, I keep on saying watched. I listened to a few. I always say that about stuff that when I listen to things, at work or whatever, and it's just like I watch without watching. I have a vision of you in my head while I'm listening. Okay?
Yeah, I do the same thing too. Yeah, like if I'm listening to something, I'll be like, oh yeah, I watched that. No way, I listened to it.
Yeah. So
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Your Life in Space podcasts. I will link the description after we're done here to everything. I don't have anything in the description that's info yet, but I will just after we're done.
Sure.
But yeah, and I especially I liked the last one that you did. I liked hearing the old stuff that you came up with and recorded. And see, that's what I never did in the past is record anything, and so to see kind of like the progress of what you liked before as to what you like now is kind of cool.
Yeah, that one was actually one of my favorite ones I did because I went back and looked at all these old songs I did, and it actually was funny to play them and hear what I used to do, and it was in no way probably anything anybody would want to listen to for more than maybe a minute or two because some of them went on for like 10 minutes and it was just the same thing over and over again. But it's funny because you kind of hear like what it was when you first start, and then when you finally get a little bit better at it, you can see a big progression on it, and it's really interesting to go back and check them out.
Yeah. Well, I think people that have different sensibilities at different times, and people had different sensibilities in general in like the 90s, say, and like I don't know. And then there's things like there's minimal techno, and you were like maybe getting into minimal techno, at some point, maybe harder than you are now or something like that. I don't know. And maybe friends influence us too. It definitely influenced me to go different ways I went musically, because being in that noise band has just really influenced my philosophies about wanting to stay generative and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. What do you call it? Minimal techno or
yeah, minimal techno, just
yeah,
techno. I mean, techno in general is minimal, but yeah, people say minimal techno when they make it even more minimal, you know?
That's a good way to explain it. Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of the stuff I'd see it. I didn't know anything about melody or how to create melody, so it was basically a lot of drums and stuff. So yeah, it was very basic and very very minimal and stuff like that. And in fact, I don't think I even had any hardware. No, it was all computer stuff. So I was working with really basic stuff. In fact, I think a lot of those programs, FL Studios, it was the one I was using. It was like version 4, and they're on number 20. But I think they skipped from 12 to 20. But yeah, that was one of the first versions of it. So a lot of the sounds were very very dry sounding. So yeah, it's really interesting though to see the to listen and to see how it definitely progressed, especially a lot of the technology and stuff too. So something as simple as like this machine or like the circuit or something like that. That thing sounds really cool, just for what it is. It's got a whole studio practically in that little thing. So it is interesting to hear like some older things or even older samples from those programs and compare them to today.
Yeah. I have a really hard time focusing because I like everything. I mean, I literally like something about every supposed genre of music. And like, so what do I do? Like, what do am I okay just sticking myself to one or two things? Or if I don't, am I just plain lost and wandering, that sort of thing? Because I love to do house, but then I love, more ambient, like long, this is just this is atmosphere, not music sort of stuff, too, and so it's like, I have to kind of split up my time,
Yeah, that's it. It is kind of hard just to pick one thing. To be honest, like sometimes even just the atmospheric stuff, it's just really fun to just do that. And I do notice even if I try to do something that's more slow or a track that's kind of just more relaxing and stuff, those are actually a little bit more harder to craft sometimes. It's like saying if you just throw some stuff together and it's like faster paced kind of song, to slow it down though, it has a totally different sound actually. So if you take something that's 120 BPM, crank it down to 80. Sometimes I do some of my songs in 80 and they sound actually better, to be honest. Sometimes you can hear them and it sounds like you can hear each thing a little bit differently. So it's kind of nice to make like those ambient kind of soundscape type things. I do enjoy those a lot.
Definitely. The circuit kind of made me do that. Take things down just to see. Every time it's just like when I make something, take it down to 80 or 60 or down to 45 and see what happens. And
that'll be interesting.
It's just always good, isn't it? In some way, it could be usable for something in whatever way. And it's just cool how much it changes things,
Yeah, it's amazing. Just the tempo of something, it completely makes it a whole different thing. And that's what's amazing about it, just being able to take something, it sounds like, just an average song at a certain speed and then take it down and it's a whole different thing. I guess I'm repeating myself, but but it is cool. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's really cool.
Inverted Pope says I generally play at 20 BPM.
Nice, yeah.
Mike Hydropneumatic. I said it right. Nice to see you here. Yeah. So, is there a magical BPM?
I don't know, to be honest. Well, a lot of programs recommend like 120 or 130, but then I don't know. I think you're just kind of using more, like let's say you want to slow down the drums a little bit, you got to use more of the pattern. You got to kind of space it out more. So I don't really see the point of that. I kind of like going under 100 if I can.
Are we all comfortable with 120? Don't get outside of that, folks. Come on.
Yeah.
Stay on 120 with us.
Yeah.
No. That's I don't know. But it started out with laziness, so you always think about that. I always think about that, so I can't get around that thinking that I shouldn't make it 120.
Yeah.
Anyway, other people don't have a problem with it. They're like, whatever, you guys, it's 120. All my songs are 120.
I guess if you don't think about it, you just kind of go with the flow. I guess it doesn't matter.
Did you have a quote that you wanted to read out?
I don't know. I just, it's kind of cool. I started writing stuff in a book. This is my book of great ideas.
Ah,
And I do like drawings and I write down my thoughts and stuff. I just try to organize what I'm thinking
yeah,
about at the moment.
that's what I got on here too.
You do?
Yeah, yeah, no, but see, I've always done graph paper.
Uh-huh.
It's graph paper. It has to be. This is for a song. It's like for the circuit. It's like all these squares are the different pages of the circuit and what I would do in all the different parts.
That's
And,
cool. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't actually think of doing that. That's a good idea.
and always pictures of my studio, and I'm always rearranging it. That's why I have everything unhooked right now, and there's not going to be any music from me.
Yeah, that's neat. It's good to keep your ideas in a book because sometimes I'll just be thinking of something and then I'll forget, and then it's like, man, I had a good idea, or like I wanted to do something different on my mixer and I completely forgot because I didn't write it down. And
Well,
this,
I had an epiphany this last week about mixing and just like signal flow and stuff. Yeah, so that's good
yep.
stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. And I started coming up with like thoughts and stuff, and then like maybe I'll do a podcast on this or a podcast on that, and then yeah, it's cool, man. So I've been doing that this year. I guess that's one of the things I guess I've been trying to work on, so I can work on my speech and work on like my writing and everything. So it's been helping actually quite a bit. I've been thinking more and doing more with my thoughts and stuff. So it makes more sense now that I start doing this.
Honestly,
And
it's no secret. It's what I learned in college from all the creative courses that I took is that do the morning pages per se, and
mhm.
daily journal, and it will change everything that you do. Your ability to be creative, everything starts with that. And then I just think that is the way to get going and get to doing what you need to do is just write things down. Start writing things down. It doesn't matter what. You just have to start getting yourself to put the pen on the paper.
In fact, I even want to get a hand recorder. Eventually, I want to get like a little, like a Zoom H1 or something, and then I can actually like just record my thoughts too whenever I need to. I can just have a little pocket recorder and then record on there, and then I could even use that maybe for content as well. That'd be kind of cool to do that. So that's another thing that I want to do. That'd be kind of neat to do that too.
I was just this morning, I was looking at, see, I shouldn't have just spent time online this morning when I had an interview to do, but it's all good. Like, you can just press play. It's all good. Press record. It's fine. But
Yeah.
I was looking at the Zoom field recorders, which are too expensive, but I would love a Zoom F8, except for the fact that no, I wouldn't, because my only thing that's ever let me down is Zoom
Oh, really?
Q8 audio
I ne-
and video wise. Oh man, it's
I
my
never
weakest.
I never actually used any Zoom products, so I'm not really sure what the quality are like on those. I
A
know
lot
that
of
they
people
talk.
didn't like them.
Yeah, that's
The
cool.
H1s, and H2s, and H4s, and H6s. I guess they're trusty. As far as I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think isn't it the H6? That's the more expensive one, right? It's got like a 6-channel thing going on there, right? And then that thing kind of seems like a little overkill though. I don't think I would use that too often because
Yeah, well, that's
it's
a popular one because people who decide, well, I don't want a mixing desk, and I have this many channels, and so it's perfect for some people.
yeah, I could see that working out. Yeah, if you just want to kind of like go simple, like just with a small little recording device, and then you can just mix in everything through that, which is amazing. I can't believe that it just runs off a couple of batteries, right? And then you have a whole studio right in there. It's tiny
Yeah,
and it works.
but
And
you're
it's
not talking about playing music out in the field. You just want to get sounds from out there
yeah, or like just
or ideas. Yeah.
yeah, like ideas. I think the H1 might be a little bit better for me, but yeah, that it's amazing though. I mean, the H6, how you can, I mean, the quality is amazing too. You can switch the mics and everything out. I'd say it's really professional, especially if you got like a camcorder or something like that. You wanted some good professional sound. That thing would probably be a really good option because
It's
they
got,
have.
yeah. Does it
You
have
can.
time? No,
Yeah,
I don't
I think it does. Yeah.
know what I'm doing. But also the thing is, what brought me to that this morning was looking at the Mix Pre, Sound Devices Mix Pre series, and those are the expensive ones. Like,
Oh, okay.
oh my goodness, because they're pro, and
Okay.
you can hook up your Launch Control XL to them and perfectly, and it pairs already, and you don't even have to program it. to the all 8 tracks, and you have your onboard effects that you can have on it for us musician people, and even though it's a field recorder. I mean, it's just but that's the thing about it. It's like things like this Tascam model series. This is prosumer gear. This is stuff that we can aspire to, regular people can aspire to saving up for and stuff like that. But then there's another tier that you've been able to record off of mixing desks already, but you had to have something that was like over $1,000, over $2,000, around $2,000 or whatever.
Yeah. Some of those mixers, there's like a Presonus, I think that's the company. I don't know. They make a really nice one, and yeah, that thing's nice but expensive.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I love Presonus because I use Studio One. That's my DAW that I use when I use a DAW at the moment. And yeah, it's nice.
I've heard of Studio One. Studio One. I've heard of it before. I've never used it before though. It's pretty nice.
It's pretty basic. Yeah, it's got a nice stock sampler on there that has all the cool instruments that you can have, like a super poly Moog if you want.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Because they just make it poly because it's a sampler.
Oh yeah,
and OB6 and your Prophet and your all that stuff, and and human voices and all your acoustic instruments and stuff, and it's pretty. I like all the sounds. They're, I think everything's decent nowadays from most people, right? Seems to me that way from my ear. And I guess if I don't have a more refined ear for it than someone else at this point, then I don't care beyond what I actually hear.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. I was gonna say, you said you were releasing some music. You were.
Well, yeah. From here on out, I became made sure I became a YouTube official artist on my YouTube to get an official artist channel, and that was mainly to save myself from any possible copyright infringements happening against me, of like big companies stealing some jam I did on here, because that's what happens to musicians a lot here on YouTube, is that they get their stuff stolen by YouTube robots who don't care about anything, and there's no humans involved. And then it's the rhetoric is that it's the big companies, that the big labels, that these robots are claiming that they're the algorithms are claiming that it's their songs when it's slightly similar in a spot or something like that, and then you'll get copyright infringed on YouTube for no reason, because it's your song, you played it live right there to show somebody, but nobody's actually watching to protect you. So
yeah,
unless you register your music, you're out on the fringe in this day and age, and you get to just get your music stolen by the companies.
And what do they do with it? I mean, do they use it for like advertising or something, or?
No, they just make sure that you don't make any money off of it. If you're monetizing your channel, then they get all the revenue off of it automatically. They get all the revenue that you already got or would have gotten, goes to them instead.
That's sneaky. Yeah, I've heard of a lot of
your channel taken down.
Really? That's not cool.
That happens, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of scams like that.
They have less manpower now because of all this stuff too. So than they did before. So no, that's cool. I like YouTube, and then I don't like them. I expect what I expect out of them, which is not much nowadays. So I'm over on Twitch now too, and other places, and I have my own website now, modulatorbay.com.
That's right. Yeah, I saw your website, man. That's actually really nice. It's very professional.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, everybody, that I've been so busy and haven't even made that much music, because I've been stepping up in the world and doing other weird things, and and family and stuff. But I've actually been trying to organize myself in a way that I never have before.
No, that's nice, man. It's cool. You can have a webpage now and all that cool stuff. It's really neat.
And you got your podcast going, and you got all these episodes I haven't seen yet. And
yeah, I think I have like 10 of them now, and I can't believe that I've done that many already. But that's like, I think, like 10 hours of stuff. So I can't imagine everybody listening to all of it, but it is kind of cool though. I
Gold.
really dig it. Huh?
That's gold, especially right now. People are like, what
Yeah.
do I do? Oh my God. Do we want to hear more stuff about music production and stuff and people's actual experiences
Hmm.
and all that? And their experiences with whatever you're feeling about what's going on right now, that'll be in there too, and that's
Yeah.
right now. And so I think more of us should be streaming and stuff like that. And I'm going to get better at it too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. To be honest with you, to be able to talk and to even just have your thoughts or ideas and stuff and record them, and then you can post them. It just it feels good to just know that you have something to say, or some of your information maybe will help somebody, somebody kind of like learn something, or maybe inspire them to do something as well. So it's kind of cool. You get a good feeling when you make something that's a good quality, something, a product or something like that. And I try my best to make that sound interesting. Sometimes I'll throw some like reverb on there or something like that. So I kind of experiment with it and see what I can do. Maybe do something more creative next time or something like that. So it's fun to work on. It's really cool.
Cool. Is there lightning? Is there thunder and lightning going on right now at your house?
No, it might be my webcam.
I just
Is it flickering?
like, whoa, what's that?
It might be flickering. Maybe because of the I do have a fan on above me. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh
Or
yeah, okay, cool. Because the
it
fan
might.
is spinning to the ceiling
Yeah.
fan. Oh,
Oh,
cool.
there it goes again. Yeah, it kind of flickered. But this camera, I don't know. To be honest with you, this camera I've had for like ever. I think I bought it back in 2008 or something. So it might be the camera too. I do
Cool.
need to work on maybe getting something that's. I do have a GoPro, but I just, I'd have to go into post production in order to like, manipulate with that thing. But yeah, it'd be nice to have something that streams better.
I have the
Or
version of a GoPro, the Yi
yeah.
4K. Yi 4K Plus, because it's got a microphone jack in, which is USB-C, so you have to have an adapter and stuff like that. But yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Never got a microphone to work on it yet, but I just gave up on that because I didn't need to. Anyway, I never wanted to edit, but now I'm maybe thinking I have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have him just to maybe record some stuff, make like a music video or something like that. I used to do like these little videos where I would just record random lights and things like that, and then I would like throw in a bunch of layers of like compression or maybe like distortion on the video, and then I just come up with like these interesting like scenes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but my
So,
action cam is actually the best camera I have. It's even better than this. But this is pretty good too. But my phone is not. And nothing else that I have is. The Zoom Q8 is not good at all. Low, you need high light for it to be okay.
oh, really? Yeah.
You need, like sunlight.
You have to be outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these webcams, they need a lot of light. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I want is like an M50 mirrorless DSLR type of situation.
Yeah.
Canon M50.
Yeah, those DSLR cameras are great. Those work really good.
But I also want a switcher for different cameras and stuff. But you can't get those ATEM minis. They're all out of stock, and who knows when they're going to get back in stock. Does anyone comment on that, please?
Yeah, switchers. I noticed everybody's going to those. You can just switch from camera to camera, and it's really cool.
Yeah, but I can't get like one of the Roland ones. They're too expensive, and the other ATEM ones are too expensive. But those ATEM mini ones would be perfect for me, and they seem so simple to use. But they're all out of stock, and they're just gonna keep on going out of stock probably if they keep on putting them out.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's hard to get those kind of things at a good price. I mean, they can get really pricey, especially a good switcher.
Yeah, but see, I don't just need it for like wanting to do separate cameras. I need it because I can't play music software and OBS at the same time and record at the same time. So especially my VCV Rack modular software program, I can't do anything with it anymore. Record it except for recording it outside the computer.
Yeah.
Not even OBS's fault in that. The VCV is worse. but
And
OBS
see,
is bad. Yeah.
that's the nice thing about having those things, because you're taking the outside, what you're doing with the cameras and everything, outside the computer territory. Because yeah, if you were to render all that and do all that through like your computer, oh man, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
hard to work together.
computers. You have a computer for every instrument that you have. For
Uh-huh.
every contact instrument, you have a new computer. That's
Mm-hmm.
not too expensive, right? No.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be even more expensive. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what we're talking about now. So
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
no, it's fun though. All these things, it's a great hobby to get into and mess around with all this stuff. It takes a lot of like exploring and figuring out how it all kind of works together. But once you kind of do it long enough, you kind of get more comfortable with it, and that's kind of like how I experience a lot of this stuff that I'm working with. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm getting comfortable with it, and it's been like, I don't know, a long time since I've been doing a lot of like sound stuff. So it's something that's, you put your time into it and it grows. So it's a
yeah.
lot of fun.
No, that's cool that you say that I inspired you to live stream. There's always just people that just plain got on and live stream that inspired me to do that, and that's cool. But in turn, I was you've inspired me to get on and like get my music somewhere, get
Oh,
music,
really? Yeah.
put out
Yeah.
music, and get it somewhere, because I've always been like, no, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna do that. And dumb when I'm always just coming up with stuff, then you know put it out there in a way that people can, at least that can download it differently. And I've just got 3 songs on Bandcamp now. But the thing is, yeah, you're definitely the one who really inspired me to go like, okay, this is what I want to like show my kid, that you can do something like this and start getting serious about it and stuff like that.
Cool. Hey, thank you. Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm glad that I'm inspiring some people, and that's awesome. That's nice that I inspire you. Yeah, these how do you say, these times are great for all that stuff. I mean, as long as you can put your stuff up there and people can get to it and check it out, that's really awesome, man. So you're on the Bandcamp right now?
Yeah, I've had a Bandcamp account for like over a year and never put anything on it, and so I put in a short 3-song album on it that's just ambient generative atmosphere, basically, type of songs, but shorter versions of things that have just that I've made longer YouTube videos of. The 2 of the things that I recently came out with in VCV Rack put out 2-hour YouTube videos of. I just took shorter snips of that, like
Mm-hmm.
8 minutes or so, and made them a song for download in Bandcamp. And I think that's a nice thing to do, a nice little way to package things up. And I put it for free, for you can pay what you want, sort of thing. And I've always believed in pay what you want, like even just down to when you get really popular or something, just keep on doing pay what you want, because
Yeah.
yeah,
Now
I
that's
think
cool, man. What's your name? Is it just Mr. Basic on
yeah,
on Bandcamp?
yeah. And I would prefer that people just just take it for free, take everything for free. But I think it's cool that also that you have that little tip jar sort of thing too there, and I think if I get better at streaming and my broadband service gets better, I might be able to upgrade it somehow to get it even better, so that it's more consistent. Then I might do more stuff on Twitch, and there's more opportunities on Twitch, I think, that aren't necessarily on YouTube or other platforms
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when it comes to maybe like direct support from viewers and stuff like that,
That's cool. Yeah,
and
yeah. Twitch is.
and people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's neat. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to check it out on Bandcamp. I have the app, so I'll have to check, and I'll follow you on there. That's really neat. Yeah, Bandcamp is really cool. I've listened to a few things on there. It's actually really nice. The quality and everything is really great too. And since it's on the phone, you can just listen. It's really awesome.
Yeah. Problem is I don't have something to convert video to wave that works well. I had such problems for like 2 days, and then I was just like, no, I just ripped it from YouTube, and then back from YouTube, and then took away from it from there because
Are you talking like getting the audio from a video so you can make a like an audio file for?
Yeah, there's just funny things that I don't that I have the hardest time with. I was like, oh, I haven't tried to do that. These programs aren't working, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find ones that are for free too, because a lot of these companies. I know there's one that's out there. It'll do that for you, but they want like $100 for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like some advice on that, how to make a wave out of a video. Well, my DAW should have been able to do it, but then it was like the wrong format. It has to be AVI for
okay.
DaVinci Resolve and Studio One, or was it Studio One? One or the other, and then the other one just didn't work either. It's just,
yeah, I think let me see. I think I used to use Vegas Pro, but I got like a discounted version of it. I think it was that this Humble Bundle had a thing where you could buy like Vegas Pro with like some other video editing programs, and I think you can do it in there. You just delete the video and render it like as a WAV file or something like that. I think you can try a video editing program. You might be able to do it. That you might be surprised. Even something as simple as like Windows Media, like or what do you call Windows Movie Maker or something like that. You might be able to do it in there, and you just separate the audio, and then you can just render the audio. I think I've done that a couple times.
Yeah, and I'm not really trying to get like a following as an artist or anything so much right now. I know that sounds like false modesty or stupid, but what I mean is that I just I want to have things in that format, just to have things in that format mostly, and to have it available as like audio only. It's like that shouldn't be complicated. You know, what I mainly is my greater mission is sound therapy. It has nothing to do with music. If I do music, it's just going to be a hobby. And so even if I like find something that's I might do like house albums and stuff like that, and that would be cool too. But it's always going to be on the back burner or on the side to like atmospheric, because I really I think I want to go to Twitch to kind of just practice more and more of that and get better myself at that. Like learn on camera over there mostly, and maybe here too, and maybe just kind of put better snips on YouTube. When I say here, I mean YouTube. Better snips on YouTube. I'm actually supposed to be streaming to both Twitch and YouTube right now, but I don't know. I'm not monitoring either one.
yeah. I'm actually looking on here. I do see us on YouTube, so you're good on there right now. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, Twitch is interesting. I checked a few of your videos out on there. It does save like I think a few of them, but they do delete them afterwards, right? It gets rid of the old ones.
Yeah, after like a week or something, or 2 weeks or something. Okay. Yeah, so I have to like keep it up. At least have one a week on there to have a video on there, which I have been doing. I've been doing the just filtered noise from the Platts modules. Have a filtered noise mode where it's just really nice. You can have like lower noise, and you can just really shape it to your liking as you go. And oh man, it's just so nice to have a Platts. I love mutable instruments. That's what I'm all about mostly.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, that Platts is really cool. I like how it's very calm. That's a cool sound, man. I like it.
Yeah, it goes very ASMR, and so I've been posting actually on Twitch as ASMR. I don't know what else to do because it's not ASMR, and I wish we would stop just like categorizing all of our sound therapy stuff as that. But it's all sound therapy, and I wish we would. I don't know. That's another.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And because Platts does this particle noise mode, and that's my favorite. And it goes click, 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 click. It does it in both. It's just awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I like all these noise making things. They're really cool. You can make all those cool sounds and stuff. It's awesome.
Water sounds. I love it.
Yeah, and it sounds actually pretty realistic too. Like, I mean, it's how do you say recreated, but it sounds really cool.
Yeah, so always for me, a couple of these voices that I have 5 voices in my rack besides the DFAM and the subharmonicon, and the Platts is like at least 2 of them at any point in time are just going to be texture and don't need to be sequenced by anything, by a sequencer thing really. right? Because they're so good at that. Like, why would you use them as just a kick or a snare or hi-hat, when you could do that with something else, like a circuit?
Sure. And I like your new setup with all the plants and everything, and the wood. Like everything looks really nice.
Thank you. I got even more
then,
plants. I got 3 more plants.
No, it's nice. I like it. It's really cool. It's calm, And then you got the subharmonicon and the Moog stuff in the middle right there, and then yeah, it's awesome, man. I like it a lot.
Yeah. See, here's the deal: is I don't know if you've seen this before. This is my circuit.
Yeah, the circuit. Yeah.
That's not what a circuit's supposed to look like.
Yeah, you put the new knobs. Yeah, that's cool.
I put all big silver knobs on it.
Nice. Yeah.
Silver knobs. I just want everything to have silver knobs. So over here, my system. Take a look at my system 1. I'll just do this real quick. This is my system 1. Oh man, you can hardly see it, but I put silver knobs on that.
Oh yeah. I see
it.
Yeah,
It had black
cool.
knobs on it, and I put all these silver knobs on it. It's not enough light, but yeah. So yeah,
that's cool.
I'm gonna silver knob everything. I can't get them off of my Novation Launch Control XL though, because it's like they glued them on, and synth companies don't usually do that, but they did it with that. And
really,
even though they were easy to get off the circuit, but I'm gonna reknob everything. I'm gonna go to other people's houses, break into their houses, and reknob their synths.
Where do you buy those? That's kind of neat.
Well, these ones I've gotten, the small ones and the big ones, were from Modular Addict. They're the MOFS MOTM / Boss style ones. They have the little bit of a skirt on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I have a pedal here. I have a Boss pedal. It's a distortion pedal. It's kind of like those, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
just like that.
That's cool. And they should just be able to pop right off, and you just pop them right on. Huh?
And the ones I have, I made sure that they were good ones. Like they have the brass screw that goes in, the brass insert and the screw. You screw them in. You screw them tight so that they're tight. Yeah. But that's I want taller ones. So putting the word out there, I see these are short, which are fine for this, but you see all these Eurorack things, they're the 19 millimeter or 19.5 millimeter knobs, all this stuff, but they're taller. They're they're like tall, not short like these ones I got, and I can only find these shorter ones from a general place that gets whatever. Anyway, so if anyone has an idea, how do I get the taller ones? Let me know, of the regular sized Euro knobs. But also, I'm waiting. Next Wednesday, I'll get the DFAM knob kit in.
Ooh,
they already shipped, and it was in Kentucky or somewhere. I've been tracking it. Yeah. So I'll have silver knobs on everything.
That's cool. Yeah, I noticed the DFAM, they have those little, just like a black knob on there, and then so with those look really cool with the knobs, silver knobs on there.
But they'll look cool. But the bigger point being is that they're really hard when it's just this little black knob. It's really hard to dial in a pitch, and the larger the knob, the easier to dial in a shorter thing, right? So just putting those on there, and I've tried with these ones, and they work great. I've just taken them back off again, but because I got the kit. But yeah, it makes a huge difference. So now that I've got a Quantizer, I got a quad Quantizer here from Tenderfoot, for the DFAM, which that's the best pairing for a DFAM, because you can make it melodic that way with notes and scales. With the 8 notes instead of it just being
yeah.
And so now that I've done that, I want the big silver knobs, because it's so hard to dial in a pitch still, even with the Quantizer. It's like, but I want to do that now, but it's so fiddly.
Yeah, the bigger the knob, the more you'll have. It kind of fine tunes it, so that'll be great. Yeah. I never really messed around with. I mean, I don't have any equipment that has those, but I could imagine it could be kind of tough to work with that. But Yeah, definitely. That's cool.
Yeah, just be gentle, like in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like Hydra Pneumatic says.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna read. Yeah. Uh, cool. An Inverted Pope says the DFAM knob kit makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
I got them from Thonk. They're in London, I think, the UK. So it was overseas, and that's why it took a long time.
Oh, okay.
But they're the ones who have we have a DFAM knob kit, but really they just give you all the correct knobs in that's pretty much what they do. They put them together for you and say, hey, these are the ones the DFAM would need, when you could get them yourself, just knob by knob, of course.
Sure.
I like that they figured it out already and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, sometimes you get certain things that don't fit right, and then it's just kind of frustrating to work with that. Then you get kind of, how do you say, it just kind of makes it a pain. So it's nice they already assemble it.
Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd, but I at this point in my life, there's a lot of things I just don't want to do anymore. Like I don't want to
Yeah,
program, I don't want to do a lot of things. So I want a lot of things to be easy.
I totally get that. Honestly, there's a lot of things. Same here. If there's a project I'm doing and I don't have the right part for it, to have to improvise, I don't know, man. It's hard to improvise sometimes.
Yeah. So, okay. So Sequencer Wars is still going on for me. I've been talking about, I nailed it down to the Beat Step Pro. Gonna get a Beat Step Pro, but I didn't get it yet. So, which is great because I changed my mind again and again and again and again. So the Make Noise has this new sequencer called the O Control.
Mm-hmm.
That's pairs with the O Coast, right? You know, have you seen that?
Yeah, actually, I saw that. They have some sort of thing on Instagram or something like that. They have a channel there, and I seen them showcasing that a lot. It's just like it's like a sequencer, and it's almost like a keyboard. You can play it like a keyboard too. It's I guess they pair it up with the O Coast, right? That's
Yeah,
what they're kind of selling it for.
yeah, and it's just like classic sequencing, like the Beat Step Pro, where you can turn the knob for the different pitches, and then when you touch it, it'll be that note. So you can put whichever notes you want for all those notes, and just have those to play, and then play them.
That's
But
cool, and
they'll
it's
all be the same pitches.
it's all CV, so you can use it with everything too, right?
Yeah, so it's a certain kind of workflow. If you're not a piano player and you want to put in notes, that's a cool way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's awesome. It's neat that they have a lot of those things because, see, like, I'm not a traditional keyboard player or anything like that. Sometimes I like to use like the machine or something like that or something similar to it. It's kind of fun just to kind of mess around with that. But playing keyboard, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's really cool to mess around with the keyboard, but I don't really know it classically or anything like that. So it's kind of cool just to sequence things, on certain machines or whatever. So I totally get that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then so I went back to the Beat Step Pro because in the end, even though I like the O Control better, it's a little expensive. It does like one, and I'd want two of them too, so that'd be really expensive. And no presets. It's not going to save your presets, which is
Oh
cool. I like
yeah.
that sort of thing. But oh man, I've been following the Beat Step Pro for like 3-4 years now, and not getting one, and being all like, Glenn Darcy, I love you, and all that stuff. But watching his videos 100 times on the Beat Step Pro all over the years. But now I'm going thinking bigger, actually thinking the SL Mark III again, because I was sure about that at one point months ago too. Or yeah,
And the Key Step Pro too. Have you saw that? That's kind of cool too.
that's what led me back to the Beat Step Pro, because I realized
Yeah.
between the two of them, I'd want a Beat Step.
Yeah.
But then between the Key Step Pro or the Beat Step and the SL Mark III, I considered it again because they just did an update, and so it came up on my YouTube because they did an update for it to make you have not just one arpeggiator, but you can have all the arpeggiators, right?
Yeah, I think you can.
Wait,
Well,
that was the Keystep Pro that did that. Was it
you can
Keystep
have.
or Novation?
I think it might have been the key step.
But yeah, Novation did just do an update on
Mhm.
something about their SL Mark III series, and it got me to look at it again. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do that first before I get my Model 12 mixer, which I've been set on for a while now. And
Yeah,
I should
I
say
mean,
that a lot.
to be honest, mixed. That's what I held off on the most. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
uh, I waited until I got a big, what do you call, like, something more professional and all that. So like I wanted to get all my gear first and everything and test that out and everything like that. So yeah, it's good to wait on that. Get all your stuff the way you like it first, and then you'll be more happy with that. And then when you get a chance, a mixer is always great.
But do you feel like it's like what makes the magic happen? What makes you sit down and go, okay, I'm gonna record because I just have something to record onto, you know?
You could, I mean, you can argue that case. Yeah, that's true too. Um, it all depends. I mean,
I feel
to
like I'm
be
doing
on,
it backwards.
to be honest, when it comes to convenience, that's very nice. But I mean, I worked on this Lasis for a long time. I guess, I mean, a lot of the stuff I did on this was still really great. It just didn't have the capability. I mean, I guess I was frustrated with it for a while because
Yeah.
it didn't do what I wanted to do. I mean, you could be right about that as well.
Yeah, my Alesis here.
What are you most comfortable with doing? Like, for instance, are you more do things more in a live environment where you like to actually like play a keyboard, or you want to have everything sequenced, or
Um, that's the thing is I do want to play a keyboard, but not a piano keyboard where keys go down because I'm a mallet percussionist,
okay,
and honestly, I do have an instrument that I learned music on, my own brand of music theory maybe, but and my instrument is really marimba and melodic mallet percussion instruments. So pads are good.
mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I really do have always wanted to get better at piano, and I have to for my daughter because I have to teach her piano
Mm-hmm.
because my partner agrees that her mother agrees that we should uh, teach her piano, and so I have to really get to knowing the 10 fingers too myself. And so the
Okay.
SL Mark III does those lighted keys, right?
Oh yeah, that's what's really, well, I was gonna mention this. Yeah, the Complete Control Mark III. I that's what I have. I have the 61 key version of it. I mean, I like it a lot. It's really great. Nothing bad to say about it, but it depends if you want something tethered to your computer or if you want something that's more, how do you say, you could just hop on anytime you want. Um,
Yeah.
it requires you to have something connected to it, so that's kind of the downside. For me, I don't see it as a problem for my end because I'm mostly using my computer, so I usually tend to use it in my DAW, or you can use the software. There's a software that comes with it, but I tend to use it mostly in the in the DAW environment or with the machine or something like that. So yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, my end game is a Pearl mallet station, which is
Those
a
are cool
MIDI
too.
controller. Yeah, you know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw someone play something similar to that. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but they had a mallet and it was a MIDI controller. It was really neat.
It'll only do one voice at a time, of course, but
Mhm.
unless you or two the same note. But anyway, yeah, it's that would be the essential way to like play in as I perform.
Yeah, that's kind of cool too. That'd be neat to try something like that out. I never played a mallet or anything, but that sounds like a lot of fun. I've seen people do it, and it looks really cool.
But when it comes to coming up with music, I think something like the SL Mark III will be perfect for me. Like you said, with the other one, you got to have it hooked up to the computer or whatever. But like the SL Mark III is kind of excels at either not having the computer or having the computer or both, and it has no issues. Seems like either way, kind of like the Tascam.
That's what's cool about it. Like what was the other thing? The key step. That
Yeah,
one's kind of cool too, just to be able to create like a MIDI sequence, and then you have multiple tracks, or you can save those what do you call sequences and everything. And again, like I said, without having a computer, it's kind of cool just to be able to just
I love it.
tap right into something and then just pull it off. So that's a nice feature to have as well.
Yeah, that's just how the revolutionary thing is. Just like, yes, you keep the big MIDI ports there.
Yeah.
And you have the USB that powers it, and you are doing your computer and your gear at the same time, and they don't.
Uh-huh.
Your computer doesn't care what your gear's doing. Your gear doesn't care what your computer's doing, and they don't
True.
conflict. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
You clock everything from it.
Yeah, that's cool too. But as for like a sequencer, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a hardware sequencer. It would be kind of cool to have one. I mean, the Moogs already have a sequencer on it, so I don't know if I really need anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, the what do you call Mother 32? Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, they already have a. I'm sorry.
That's cool about them, that I don't have to worry about like, oh, I need more sequencing. In
Yeah.
Subharmonicon, no, you don't like play different notes. If you do that, you're transposing the whole thing you're doing.
Yeah, I guess that defeats the purpose, right?
Mm-hmm. Unless that's all you're going to do is just play it as a synth, which is cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
nice sounding.
I have noticed that Mother 32s, I've been doing that a lot. I really haven't learned too much about the actual sequencer. I do know how to operate and everything, but I've been using them mostly as just like a synth, I guess.
That's cool. I've never done that with the DFAM before. I've just never tried.
Yeah. And again, they sound great, so to just do that is also really cool, because the Mother 32 has a direct MIDI in, but the DFAM and the Subharmonicon, they have it as well. It's just like a CV adapter, I believe, right? You just get like an adapter and it'll just do the same thing.
Yeah. I just have always done it over CV. I don't have a Mother. I decided against the Mother. I'm doing the Subharmonicon and a DFAM, and not another DFAM.
Yeah,
it's cool if I need more like my DFAM is adding what it's adding to my percussion, or being what it is. I don't need it to be my entire percussion by getting more of them, because I like other sounds too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but yeah, definitely the percussion is definitely you need that in there. It's always nice to have something. That's what I was always looking for when I was looking for some sort of drum machine or something like that. And I noticed some of them are really pricey. Like a Max Brute or something like that it's pretty expensive. That's why I went with something similar to like the machine. Even though that the software, you have to have the software tethered to it, but it's still kind of nice. Just something simple, I guess.
I don't have a mother or a grandmother. Or
yeah, those things are pretty cool too. I've been seeing people playing those. The what is it? The grandmother and the what's the other one? There's another one there. Yeah, matriarch. Yeah, those are cool.
They are, except for the colors. I'd paint them.
Yeah, I kind of that kind of threw me a little bit when I saw that. I was wondering, it kind of looks like an art project or something. Kind of throwing all these things together.
Yeah, no, I don't want them. You know what I really want? I want well, I've always wanted a Minotaur, like for real. Is like that's what should be with my System 1 too. But anyway, because I won't need a compressor or this mixer here when I have a mixer, mixing desk. So there's this 3U, and then I can finally get my Minotaur, right? But actually, what I want more than that is the Sub 25.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that they have a Sub 25 now. That's pretty cool.
I love it. It's like I would sleep with it. I'm always that way. I don't know. I'll say something different tomorrow, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes there's something you want, and then you forget, like, there's something different that I want, or this one, or something like that. You change your mind.
I want everything, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta keep an eye on that. Yeah, but I think right now, like, I'm pretty good. I think everything I have right now it's suits my, how do you say, liking and everything. So I think I'm good
That's
on gear
cool.
right now.
I am all for it. Before you even get into this, have a plan, long-term plan. Doesn't matter whether you end up sticking to it, but you don't want to just go in, should I get this synth? Should I get that? And it's like, oh, no. You got to really think about this stuff. Don't just like have a bunch of regrets, right? But it's cool. It's cool to see an end to what you want before you ever, do like a recording studio. Like, what is a recording studio? Well, it's what you want out of it, and that's a hard thing to think about 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead, because you want things to last, right? You want to keep doing this, right?
Yep.
That's
true.
What kind of got me into following any synth YouTuber the first was Bo Beats, doing his gas talks years ago, and that kind of enamored me to him in the first place before I got into all of his circuit videos that he's done, and I got into being a circuit person. But yeah, this just everybody sitting here and talking about gear, us sitting here and talking about gear, and the realities of, yeah, you might want things, but let's have a real talk, and also I like to talk about the value of synthesizers in all sorts of philosophical ways. So it's just some of my favorite stuff. It's kind of like, what's the value of a synthesizer? I think they're priceless. I think they're all priceless. And the fact that we can somehow, some people in society, muster up what it takes to get one is just the most amazing thing. And a lot of people, when you're into it, you get desensitized and think, well, this synth is crap or something like that. But you lose sight of what it actually is. A synth is a synth, and they're all amazing, right?
Yeah. As long as it makes sound, I guess that's pretty much the point. I was also thinking, like, yeah, it doesn't really necessarily matter what brand. I guess it depends if you like the sound. Whatever sounds good to you is always going to be the best choice to go with.
That's
but I totally agree, though. You got to kind of know what you want. You kind of got to have a plan, because it's real easy to go out and want to spend that kind of money and then be discouraged somehow in some way. It could kind of ruin that experience, because they are pricey.
Yeah. And see, that's part of my thing, is like that of my silver knob thing, like putting silver knobs on things. I'll put silver knobs on cheaper gear and put a black faceplate vinyl on here to make it look like it's black when it's actually silver, instead of just keeping myself to having to have a $3,000 rotary mixer or something like that. You make one as a MIDI controller was my first initial idea, that looks exactly like that, because that's the point, right? It's like, that's nice, and if it controls it in the same way, then that would be cool. It's like, problem solved. You're not rich, but you can do the same thing with good sound, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just like, make cheaper gear. Make the things that you need. I don't know, if you want a certain aesthetic, that doesn't mean you have to go expensive, is what I'm saying.
True. Because at the end of the day, like I said, they all just kind of make a sound. So
yeah, and plants are not expensive. Desks are from a surplus warehouse. Everything I get is from government surplus sales and stuff like that. It's cool.
Nice. Yeah, desk space. Yeah. You got to have desk space, that's for sure.
But you can plamp. That's the new term, mostly on Twitch DJ streams. Plamping. It's a new thing.
Yeah, what's that?
Have a plamp party. That's putting plants and like lava lamps around. My lava lamp is just off camera. I'm sorry, everybody. But yeah, I'm not plamping enough without I thought I was going to put it out there. I hope I not have plants. That's plamping.
Okay.
Doing that on your stream. No, but I think there's like these animations that they put up that put plants all around as like an overlay, that's plamping, for doing it artificially to your stream on Twitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I do it for real, because my computer can't do overlays and crap like that. It'll break anyway.
Looks better, by the way, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of nice to have something alive in there, and it makes everything look cool.
That's cool. Thank you. Actually, what I'm going to do next and pretty soon is I'm going to get backdrops. I'm going to get backdrops that are like nice foresty. And since this is Modulator Bay, my idea was always to get like a nice bay with like a moon setting in back, but real backdrop, not green screen, because I think green screen is kind of hard. It's kind of a pain. Right?
Yeah. And then you have to like get a program that works with that. I mean, I think you can do an OBS, but yeah, that's true. A real backdrop would be nice though.
But I want to get serious about that and all sorts of things like that, more serious. I don't know if you're all like motion to the ocean, or you're just like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool doing what I'm doing. Just like last time.
Yeah. I have some stuff on the walls. I mean, I have like, some cool posters and stuff up there and lights and whatnot.
Yeah, I really enjoy your paintings on the wall too. What is that thing that has all the algorithms?
That thing?
FM? Is that FM algorithms on there? No.
Oh, you mean that?
Yeah, that poster.
Yeah, it's a song. I guess it's like a Coldplay song or something like that.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, they've written it out in some sort of sequencing.
Yeah, I got records I could put up on the wall too. I used to do that, kind of like put my favorites up there that I would put in the record player a lot.
Yeah, that's
Joe
cool.
Hyatt and Donovan, and I was kind of a hippie for a while.
I collected records. I collected records for a while too. I got a bunch of them.
I love it.
Yeah. Anything to do with music or sound and stuff, especially things that I'm into. It's fun to collect and kind of like put that idea out there to kind of get creativity or some inspiration or whatnot.
I like tape. The last I went to a concert at a synth shop in Seattle that Annie was at. Annie in Constant Shapes. I actually it was a while ago. It was a couple of years ago now, and I filmed it pretty badly, but I filmed it anyway. But like at that concert, I came away with a tape. So it's like I always like to say like, yeah, I got the last album I got at a concert was a tape. The last album I got was on tape.
Wow,
so it really is kind of like back, in some circles, I guess. I love it. See, this has this thing, matching headphones, Calphone. Of course, it's mono. It just has a mic in.
Yeah. I was wanting to get like some sort of tape player or recorder or something like that. That's actually what I originally wanted to do when I was going to think of like recording things, just like a hand recorder. I was trying to find some sort of like tape mechanism, but man, you go on there and they want like $300 for just a tape recorder. It's crazy.
No, see, I always there's all these dictaphones from schools and whatever industrial buildings from these surplus stores that I get my furniture from too. There's always cool stuff like that, and I can't help myself.
I think they reissued something like that too. I seen something similar to the one you got. Was it new? Was it
have the speed dials and like tone control and stuff, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice to have the speed control, which you can make some pretty messed up stuff.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of guys are recording on tape. Like, I mean, just like for experimental things, and like you can buy stuff on tape now again. I guess it's coming back.
Well, yeah, I still have a player, so there you go. You can do it. It's not unlike what some younger people may assume about it. It actually doesn't sound bad. It just sounds bad when the tape is old.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you forget like the quality of something, what it was like before back in the day, and you listen to it back. It's like, oh, it's not that bad.
And depending on the player too.
Yeah, and the player.
Yeah. So. Okay, your SoundCloud. It's your podcast is SoundCloud, right?
Yeah. Actually, I upload them to SoundCloud, and I guess you get like what is the pro membership or something like that. You can upload as much as you want, and it has an RSS feed that allows you to just go directly to like Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcast. So you can get it on Apple, Spotify, Google. I think any place that you can get a podcast from, you can get it from there. So it's kind of cool. They kind of include all that in that service, I guess. Plus, I can release music from there now too. So I put out a new album geez, was it last month or something, called Exposure, and I released it through them. So I wanted to see if it worked, and it worked. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll try to put that specifically in the description too, or at least link to the SoundCloud in general, and not just the podcast.
But
Yeah,
yeah, on
I haven't heard
SoundCloud.
your album myself yet, but I it's on my feelers.
Yeah, it's cool. But the SoundCloud, yeah, everything's on there. So I mean, it's just that's where all my stuff goes. It's like all the hard copies of everything, and then it just gets distributed, I guess, wherever it goes.
Yeah,
But
and so I decided to do that, get my butt in gear on distributing to streaming platforms as well, and doing that through DistroKid.
mhm.
Watched a bunch of videos early this morning on controversy, people being DistroKid misbehaving in various ways and not being very cool and stuff like that. But we'll see how all those things come out in various cases. It's always individual cases, and there's always situations involved and stuff. You never know. I don't like to get about anything, but I'm sticking with DistroKid. But like you reminded me that, I should probably start a Spotify page then, shouldn't I? And I knew that, but I still haven't done it yet.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a little profile thing on there. You can just go on to Spotify. It's like an artist profile thing, and then you can put a photo and all your stuff on there. But when your music gets uploaded to all those platforms, I think Spotify is the more customizable one. Apple, they don't really let you do too much, except for like a icon. If you upload a picture, you can upload a picture or an icon. That's the only thing you can do. But Spotify is kind of cool.
Yeah. I watched some, big YouTuber that he's kind of like kind of really polished show, Damian Keys, I believe it is. And he said, I think 6 months ago to last year or something like that, about how pretty much everything is kind of worthless in terms of getting your music out except for streaming platforms now.
Yeah,
and that was his opinion, and it's kind of like a very controversial and all that, because of course everybody's going to argue about that, but yeah, he has a kind of a good point that it's streaming is how people actually get their music mostly, and so it kind of is the way to go.
Yeah, as long as it's out there. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, I guess. Making money though, I just do it for fun.
That's right. You know what, I think I brought that up in the same way last time we had to talk to.
Yeah.
Because I'm always kind of looking that way. It's kind of like, I'm going to retire at some point. And then I'm kind of trying to, teach my daughter to maybe do something creative, to work for herself in some way or another too. But mostly what that means is that you get online to do all the different things you want to do, and you maybe even do that as like different people, but then you could have like a product you sell or something like on Etsy.
True. Yeah.
Well, some kind of product you sell, like maybe it's sample packs, maybe you want to do that, or something like that. And I think that's a good way to go, but obviously it's not for everybody to be like making money online. And a lot of people are really feeling the crunch right now in this really hard situation, where they feel like, oh, well, I have to do something like that now, and what do I do? It's really hard for a lot of people, I know, and I just feel for everybody. Yeah,
it's tough right now. Yeah, especially with all the music stuff. I mean, I honestly don't know how you would really get into that field and make a living, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of, unless you're, how do you say, a major musician or something like that, or just getting lucky or something like that. I don't know. I mean, if you're in production, maybe some sort of production, or doing like TV show stuff, maybe. Yeah. But even the movie industry, I heard, is like, I don't know, it might be how do you say, movie theaters in general, maybe a thing that might not be around too much longer. I don't know. I heard a lot of on-demand stuff coming, so I don't know if they're really going to put so much stuff in the theater.
That's crazy.
I know the next year is going to be kind of weird, so we'll see what happens.
Everybody's at home, right? More than usual, right? And
Mhm.
all the time. And there's so much less TV being made. And
Yeah, I
it's-
guess I guess you just can't go out and do it. I don't know, something like that.
maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I got to stop watching so much TV too. But
Um, so yeah. Oh, that was another thing. See, I've gotten really into Minecraft, so I'm not doing
oh yeah,
any stupid things with my time except for short shows, and I don't like to watch too much TV. But man, I'm gonna get back into Minecraft creative, and I spent like 3 hours last night.
yeah, man. Minecraft took a lot of my time. I remember I was really doing a lot of Minecraft, and in fact, most of the time when I'm just like not doing anything, yeah, I play games and whatnot. I've been, I don't know, I've been playing that Fortnite for a while, and I don't know, that game's intense.
uh,
But Minecraft is great, man. That's a great game.
yeah. So how I see it is, see, I've always done this. I've always filled up graph paper notebooks, right? Back in
Yeah.
the day, I was obsessed with one thing in my life. I was all for that and nothing else, and that was Nintendo, the original Nintendo Entertainment System,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I got these Nintendo Power magazines, and they had these like walkthroughs of all the different levels. They'd show them like that, and I would just look at stuff like that and like, imagine it's like the world. You're looking at the whole world, and like you can imagine yourself going through it, even if you don't have the game. And so on graph paper, I would make these games. These are my like these worlds of like digging deep down into the earth of like these dungeons and then other like caves and other places, and this is how you'd go, and you'd go this way and then that way and then the other way, you know. And so that's what I used to do. And so Minecraft is like a 3D version. You actually get to go in and 3D do that, which I did as a kid on a graph paper on a notebook, you know. Still do that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
And now
Minecraft.
I'm like trying to think of what to do in real Minecraft by still writing it in a graph paper notebook.
Yeah, yeah. The Minecraft, in a sense, it's like the best game. I mean, you can just build wherever you want, explore, you know, do all kinds of cool stuff. It is one of those games, I tell you. I could spend a lot of time on that one.
Yeah, a glory to glory to glory says, I love the music of Minecraft. And see, I do too, but
Yeah,
it's haunting me. It's just like all the time in my head. And I'm like, oh.
it gets stuck in my head too. The music, yeah, is really interesting.
So this is what Minecraft does to me. Of like, I don't know if you can see, but like, uh, this is a cliff face, and like all these are supposed to be like, you know, houses coming out of a cliff face, like birds, you know, and there's trees at the top and stuff. And I make these torii gates, you know, like Japanese gateways up
Uh-huh.
all along the ridge. And I did that. And then I made a rainbow road that went all the way from one side of the world to the other. And then I made a door to the nether on either side and on that cliff part. And then in the nether, there's a road you can go. And obviously in the nether, you go a shorter amount of distance between the same distance. It's like Doctor Who or a TARDIS or something.
Yeah, it took me a while. Actually, it took me a while to figure that out. I didn't realize that until I went into this weird world. You make this portal, and then it takes less time, I guess, to go across
Yeah.
the map.
It's like hell, but you don't want to be there. But you know,
Yeah, you don't.
shorter distance, because every block is like 8 blocks in the real world.
Yeah. It's like a mathematical like division or something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, I do enjoy that game a lot. And now that you remind me.
I'm getting nerdy about it, but I still will never ever play survival mode. I am creative mode all the way. I don't ever want to deal with anything survival mode ever, and the time it takes to do anything. I don't
there
care.
there's little shortcuts, I think, but yeah, survival, it takes a while to get kind of used to it. It took me a long time to figure out how to make everything.
Yeah, for me it's just architectural and landscape and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah, you could literally talk about Minecraft and make a whole like show just on Minecraft, to be honest. I mean, there's so many things that you can like I seen people build like computers and stuff in it. Like you can actually build like computers. This Magpie, they have a pirate server, and they were building a piano, like a full working piano in Minecraft, and I videotaped it on my YouTube channel, and he was actually building the actual piano.
Yeah, I want to know how to do that how to use note blocks and do kind of something like that myself. And that's cool. I saw that picture of that a long time ago because I've followed Simon in the past. He's my biggest inspiration to do live streaming, Simon.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when YouTube first allowed it, he was one of the
Mhm.
first streams, and he was just hanging out. And I'm like, I can do that. I can just hang out and be me, even though I have a missing tooth. Whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't seen him upload anything in a while though. I noticed that he's been off the channel, and also he had an Instagram profile. He deleted everything and said goodbye on there or something like that. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's still doing videos or, but his server was hopping there for a while. There was a lot of people on there, and I remember playing on there. It was really cool.
Yeah, and he kind of said it was talking about wanting to kind of let that server go and be its own thing, and you guys make it what it is and keep it what it is, and he'll go.
And it's huge. I mean, when I mean huge, I mean I don't even know how Minecraft like calculates the land or anything, but I mean this little city they created. I don't know how they got there, but they probably walked the whole way. It would take you like an hour to travel there in the computer if you walked. I'm not joking.
What? Really? Oh,
They had to teleport me there because it was so long to go. I'm like, man, I've been walking for like a half an hour here. I don't know what's going on.
That's
But then
that's why you make an ice pathway, an ice highway for your boat in the Nether to get places like that, or some crazy stuff like that. I'm getting nerdy about like how to do various things, like make water elevators with bubbles.
Yeah, they actually were doing something with horses and ice, and you get on a horse and then you slide on the ice and you would go really fast or something, or a boat. It might have been a boat.
I saw that with a pig, somebody riding a pig really fast, but that's with mods and on the PC, and I'm on PlayStation 3 anyway, so I couldn't cheat if I wanted to. So I'm just playing it as they regular.
Yeah, I have a version on the Nintendo too. So if I have Wi-Fi or something like that, I can go on there and play online. But see, the thing is, you can only play with people that are on your list, your what do you call your friends list? So you can't just join us. Well, you could join like a popular server, but the thing is those servers, they lock everything down. You can't really do anything unless you get like whitelisted onto their server, or they want like $10 a month or something like that, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, there's like a whole weird world of Minecraft if you really wanted to go down that deep. But it's interesting what people have done to it to kind of make it like complicated.
There's also some channels on YouTube that you just don't want to get into. They just like over dramatize all this stuff, like, oh, this is the world is good, things are happening, oh my god, like, okay, I just want to learn how to build something really cool.
yeah, that's the fun part of it, right?
Yeah, and I'm really into that. I just dug up a sunken pirate ship that was underwater, and I just dug out all of I put like glass around, and then I siphoned out all the water with sponges, and it took a long time. There must be a better way to do it, but see, that's the glory of Minecraft. Is
that like an update or something? You can, because I saw people building things underneath the water now. It's really weird. You can actually take the water out.
You can always use sponges to sponge up some water, but only sponges up so much around the area where you put one.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it's really cool.
The things I think of on there is really funny. Like I think they have like bees and stuff. You can have like a beehive or something now where you can like manage bees or something, and it's really funny, the animals and stuff.
I hope everyone's cool with us talking about Minecraft, but
no, it's interesting. I like it. It's cool. I mean, I'm sure that everybody that messes around with synthesizers knows about Minecraft. I
just knew that it was something that we could talk about, the two of us, because, and I've always thought about, I was like, when Simon went and did like, I'm on Minecraft, everybody, and like, come join me on Minecraft, everybody. I just keep thinking about all the YouTube videos I saw where everybody's like don't go outside your niche. Your channel will just go down low because your viewers are expecting one thing. You'll just let them all down, blah 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 blah. And so I'm like, Simon, what are you doing? You're trying to be gaming and synth at the same time. But now I realize, wait a minute. A Minecraft server could be a great place for everybody to just hang out. And it's like a little environment. I've tried out various social things over the years from the 90s to now of like different social platforms that they tried to make that have little avatars running around and stuff, and that they've all been pretty lame. And
Yeah,
I don't like social media in general, so maybe that might be like kind of a cool alternative. Like,
yeah, Minecraft, I see that as like it's kind of like the best version of it. I remember there were other ones that where you would just hang out or something like that, or they had like virtual malls and you can buy stuff from like walking around in like a like a 3D world kind of thing or whatever. But yeah,
but it's all time wasters.
And plus, you can have like 1,000 people, I think, in just one game if you're on like a server or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
like there's so much craziness going on there. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want anyone to mess with my stuff, so
that's true.
Everyone's probably pretty cool.
I used to have servers on the Nintendo one, and then you would invite people to like be your friend, and then they would just come in and they throw lava all over your house. It happens way too often.
It reminds me of in college I played one game pretty much. Almost one entirely more than everything else at StarCraft on BattleNet, and that's what it was always like. There's always people that would just totally just ruin it for everybody else,
Yeah.
So it was always nice when you just found a few people to hang with, a few people there that were or to invite that then they were cool, and then you get to know them, and then people who are cool, and then you invite them.
Yeah.
My nephews do it, and they invite their actual friends from school, and they know them, and there's consequences if they do things to each other in Minecraft.
Sure, yeah, and that's the thing. I used to go to LAN parties back in the day. We used to do that. We used to have there was that game Diablo. We used to play that a lot.
Yeah,
and there's a few other ones I really don't remember, but I mean Unreal Tournament, we played that a bunch too.
I did Quake too.
Yeah, Quake's fun.
Because you could do different skins, you could be different things, and as long as everyone had to download the skins though to actually see you that way. But anyway,
yeah, I was a bit of a computer nerd back then too, so I know everything you're talking about.
Yeah, that was fun stuff. College, I didn't do much actual schoolwork, but yeah. LAN parties, yeah.
Oh yeah, good times.
There's no latency. It's not like everybody else's internet. When you're in a LAN, it's like you can actually do stuff, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. Actually, back in the day, I mean, you're talking, back then you can just have a LAN, and then it's the fastest connection you can get. I mean, no latency, no nothing, and you got used to that. You're like, man, this is great. You can play these games, and it's as if you're playing them in real time. And then when you go online, if you're using dial-up, or if you're like even on just the first high-speed internet and stuff, you can notice a little bit of change, especially with the dial-up modem back in the day. That was the worst.
The other thing about it for me was music discovery was sharing MP3s over LAN. You just share a folder that you have your MP3s in, and everybody. When I was in college, like we just had tons of guys that everybody on campus, we would just all start doing it so that we had a shared folder of like, this is my music, and you would just get everybody's favorite music. It's awesome.
Yeah, that and I remember when movies started getting ripped off the internet, and then people would have those on their computer, because I didn't have the best internet at home, so my friends would have all the hit movies that came out, and I would get all those movies from them and everything, and then it's like, wow, it's like you basically get a bunch of free stuff every time you go. Or the best game, a lot of the games were pirated too, so you get like all these new games and stuff.
Yeah, I never paid for software back in the day.
Yeah, that's same here. In fact, I think the first time I ever bought Windows was probably like a couple years ago.
Yeah. That's cool.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what is it? What brought you around to Washington? You do that every once in a while? It's like it hasn't been the first time.
Yeah. It's kind of our job. We go around, we deliver stuff, just all across the country.
Yeah, cool. So if you come around again, maybe we can plan or something, and there's no virus or whatever, then we could.
Yeah.
Then you're welcome to come over, and we could do something in the studio, and you too, and we have lots of space here and extra beds, so you're
cool.
welcome. You guys are welcome.
Yeah. I'll have to think. There's some things eventually in the next few years I want to maybe like go out and check some things out, because mostly it's for work and whatnot. If I request any kind of time or something like that, I'll have to do it in advance. But yeah, that's always fun. If there's some sort of event or something cool, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Well, we're going on almost exactly 1 minute to 2 hours. So,
Yeah.
and my daughter's getting a little restless now, and so I'm feeling it. So, are you cool with tapping it here?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think we'll save some content for later. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Right on.
2 hours is a pretty good show.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I always appreciate that you like that you hang out um and talk to me on my Discord every once in a while, and that's nice. And it's nice to have some friends in the world, even
Yeah.
though I'm kind of an introvert myself.
Yeah, I'm totally the same, man. I mean, honestly, I have literally like no friends. I just been kind of getting back in the social game. So you're probably like the only friend I have right now.
We do what we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do as much networking with stuff online as I'm comfortable with, as much social media as I'm comfortable with. I make no bones about that.
Yeah. I remember when I quit Facebook, it was probably one of the best things I ever did, though. I couldn't handle that.
Same here.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I got on YouTube to do this, because it's something, and it's totally different from that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. So it's nice. And you get to meet people with the same hobbies and all that. It's cool.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Inverted Popes, Glory to Glory to Glory, and Mike Hydropneumatic, Jelly Duck 100 is always a nice regular on my shows, and your notifications work well. I'm glad. And yeah, if I missed anyone, sorry.
Hopefully in the future, like we can expand on this. It'd be kind of cool. I was thinking in the future it'd be kind of cool to do more shows and more people or something like that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
This is
definitely.
always
I have a lineup of people that I'm gonna ask, but I haven't asked anybody else yet, except for someone who's present here.
Oh yeah. Actually, yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes to even like, ask and stuff like that. So you
I'm getting
kind
my
of want to feel like,
screening down, uh,
yeah.
technological stuff, and so I feel like I want to be professional.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I got a list of people. I was just on Noir at Blanc V's live stream last night, and he unlisted it. But go to his channel, you'll find it, I'm
Okay.
sure. And
Cool.
and he's such a great guy, and he was just the whole time he was just like, go to Mr. Basic's channel. He has the best stuff. He has the best channel. He's like, he kept saying,
Nice.
like, oh, God. Well, I'm gonna have to have him on here too.
Yeah.
He's such a
That's
great guy,
awesome.
and
That's
he's
great.
inspired me too to try to also get better looking videos, right? People like
Hmm.
that who have gotten that down. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he has like an assistant or something on YouTube. So they were talking about it in a podcast on the Pirates podcast. He was talking to Simon. He's got
Uh-huh.
like his own assistant, and they help him with a lot of cool things. And so it's really neat when you get to that level.
Yeah. I need better lighting. He has a good light. I want a good light.
Yeah,
I'll do something hardware store to do it.
sure. I found a light on online. It's like $5,000. It's for like movie production. It's crazy. Ain't no way I can afford that though.
Yeah,
But
we can do what we can do. All right.
all right,
Well,
cool.
all right. Take it easy, everyone. Thank you, AudiosErgeon.
Thank you.
AudiosErgeon. I said it right this time.
Yep.
And everybody stay safe and stay happy, right?
Hmm.
And have a good night. Have fun
All
on
right.
all
See
the
ya.
other streams.
All right. Take care, guys.
Oh.